Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast, here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of BellyUpSports. Samuel Eto'o getting hit with a ban. So the Cameroonian legend, also a Barca legend, has received a 6-month ban from FIFA for offensive behavior and misconduct. The articles that he violated was Article 13 of offensive behavior and violations of the principle of fair play, and Article 14, misconduct of players and officials. So, don't know about y'all, but this seems like a pretty juicy story. So if you guys don't know, Samuel Eto'o is actually the president of the Cameroonian Football Association, and because of him violating those 2 articles, he is banned for 6 months, so he is unable to attend men's and women's matches for Cameroon of all categories and age groups. So he cannot be at any Cameroonian football match. So yes. So where did this all come from? Recently there was a FIFA U20 Women's World Cup. I believe in Colombia, and that's where the misconduct occurred. Which was, as a matter of fact, in September 11th, this year. It was in a match of Brazil versus Cameroon. I guess the result didn't go how he wanted, and he lashed out. And the reason why I say that's probably what happened, because as a matter of fact, this is not the first time that Samuel Eto'o has had lashed out in a very intense way. He was accused of threatening players and coaches, and even assaulted a fan back in the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. So I think it's a combination of competitive nature. I think he wants to see his nation do fairly well in these tournaments when they do have their opportunities to showcase what their country can do. And I guess when they're not playing necessarily up to his standard, he does let you have it. I think maybe we're learning Samuel Eto'o has a bit of an anger problem. At least that's what I'm taking it from it. I always thought that he was just this even keel. Like, I might have just not been paying attention to Samuel Eto'o. Once again, I'm not a Barca fan, so I wouldn't have really been paying attention to Eto'o. And then I believe he did go to Chelsea. And once again, I give 2 shits about Chelsea. So I would have not known about the mentality of Samuel Eto'o. I just knew that he was this very fluid player when he was with Barcelona. But yeah, it's insane to hear that, man. To hear about a guy like Samuel Eto'o, who like I said, I thought was always poised, be the complete opposite, man. The fact that he's over here threatening the coaches and the players for not playing up to his standard, and the fact that he's even like assaulted a fan before, is very. It's wild. It's wild to see that. It's wild to hear that about a guy that I think is very much revered in Cameroon, and I would say, depending on the fan base, is very much revered as well. And yeah, it's insane. There's no way that you would believe that this was happening. And this is a club, a nation's president, which, I mean, it's not the first time that we heard of a president doing some very dumb, outlandish things. I mean, if you guys want to go see what happened with Spain, I'm not going to talk about that issue anymore, but I believe there's actually a Netflix documentary about it now. So maybe we'll do it. We'll talk about it one day, but at least talk about the documentary at least. But yeah, man, it's not professional, man. At the end of the day, I think I understand that if he's a former player, so he has his beliefs and he has his tendencies, and he wants that to be reflected on the field. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, you should have been a coach, not a president. you're the president of the association. You have to, you know, uh, be poised and have certain characteristics where very very presidential characteristics, and you can't be like that. I mean, we've seen it in the NFL. We have the owner for the Carolina Panthers who's just um throwing stuff at fans, Carolina Panthers, his own fan base. He's throwing stuff at his own fans. Um, there's just people that are not meant to be in certain positions. And I mean, if Samuel Eto'o has done this, I'm surprised he hasn't been impeached if this is what he's doing. But maybe Cameroon doesn't have necessarily another option versus Samuel Eto'o. But I think if you're considered one of your nation's best players, and people hold you to a high regard, I mean, you need to, you know, live up to that standard that the rest of the nation, because they trusted you. They trust you to be the the brain, the voice, the face of your nation's football association. Um, and doing this is a bad reflection of Cameroon, and especially because you're the head, you're the face. You're the president of Cameroon, of the Cameroon Football Association. I should keep reiterating that part, because I hope no one thinks that he's actually the president of Cameroon. Um, but it's not a good look for him. It's not a good look for him. It's not a good look for the association. I think, especially if this, for the fact that this isn't the first time that he's had has performed in the behavior and misconduct like this. Like, I mean, there's got to be a warning to Eto'o. Like, the board of Cameroon's Football Association needs to let him know, like, hey man, like, one time was too much, was way more than enough as it was, and for you to do it again in a U20 Women's World Cup, um, you probably scared some players away. Like, they're like, I don't want to be with that. I don't want him to be my president. Things like that, man. Like, that's a really tough pill to swallow. Especially, and I'm sure that crushed a lot of those Cameroonian players and even coaches staff. To have this guy that at one point was the best player of your country, and the way he conducts, man, like, it's like, that saying that's never meet your heroes. Like, people are like, maybe they don't want to meet you again because you're over here, acting in a offensive and misconduct way, man. That's not of being a president. You're a president now, man. You're not a player anymore. You're not. If you wanted to be like that, you got to be look what Vincent Kompany gets to say that crazy shit. Go be a go be a coach if that's what you want to do. But you're a president, man. That's a different type of professionalism that comes into play. And even the coach, the coach, there's two different types. The coach that you see on the pitch and the coach that you see on press conferences. Like, they don't talk the same way they talk on the training ground. Same thing on the match. Like, they don't talk like they do on the training ground versus a match. Just as how they're not going to talk to the media in the way that they talk on the training ground. Um, so, but as a president, I mean, within your meetings, within the closed doors of the Cameroon Football Association, say what you want to say, speak how you want to speak. Set their tone, set your standard that you want, but let the people beneath you, relay the message. Like, if you're not happy, do within your confines and have, the people that are responsible, that you hire to be responsible for that, have them relay those messages. Like, you shouldn't be, causing a ruckus with your players and coaches, especially when they're supposed to stay focused in the game. And also, like, a fan, and once again, it goes back to it, man. Like, never meet your heroes. This is one of those cases, I guess, that you really shouldn't meet your hero, because this guy was excited. He went to go see Samuel Eto'o, and next he's getting mollywopped by Samuel Eto'o. I mean, maybe they found that kind of cool at the same time, but yeah, it's not a good look for him. It's not a good look for Samuel Eto'o, and it's not a good look for Cameroon. It definitely needs to be addressed, and hopefully it does soon, I hope. that it's not going to be tolerated anymore, especially because this is not the first time it happened. So